Ruidoso, New Mexico, the high country haven that defied desert destiny. Picture yourself in the middle of the Chihuahuan Desert, where sagebrush and cactus stretch for miles in every direction. Now imagine discovering a hidden valley where alpine forests whisper secrets of ancient springs, where the air carries the scent of pine instead of dust, and where a rushing river called Ruidoso, meaning noisy in Spanish, breaks the desert silence with its joyful song. This is the story of a place that shouldn't exist but does, a mountain paradise that transformed from a patchy sacred ground to a modern haven that keeps defying the odds. But today, as we speak, Ruidoso is facing one of its most challenging chapters yet. Just yesterday, on July 8, 2025, historic flash flooding swept through the village, taking 3 precious lives and reminding us all of the raw power of nature that has shaped this community for centuries. It's a sobering reminder that every story of resilience is built on the foundation of those who came before and those who choose to stay and rebuild. Let me tell you why this story matters, why this place of contradictions and miracles deserves your attention, and why a mountain town in the desert became one of America's most beloved escape destinations. 1. Because this is where the impossible became possible, where water flows in.
This shirt I'm wearing, it stands for something real. It's for those who remember America's proud days, built on hard work, unity, and respect for the flag. We've got styles for men, women, and even the kids. Great quality, timeless spirit. Just point your camera at the QR code and wear what America stands for.
In the desert like a miracle from heaven. 2. Because this is where cultures met, clashed, and created something beautiful and new from the ashes of conflict. 3. Because this is where ordinary people built extraordinary dreams against all odds, defying nature itself. 4. Because this is where modern challenges meet ancient wisdom, and both find their way to survive and thrive. And 5. Because this is where you'll discover that some of the most beautiful stories come from the most unexpected places, especially when Mother Nature tries to wash them away. So if you're ready to discover the saga of Ruidoso, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up, and let's dive into the story of a town that refused to be defined by its surroundings. Don't forget to share this with someone who needs to hear about the magic that happens when people refuse to give up on their dreams. Deep in the shadow of Sierra Blanca Peak, where the mountain reaches 12,000 feet toward the sky, there lived a young Native American woman named Maria Running Bear. She belonged to the Mescalero Apache tribe, for whom this mountain was sacred. It was here, according to their beliefs, that white-painted woman gave birth to all life during a turbulent storm. One summer in 1850, while gathering piñon nuts with her grandmother, Maria witnessed something that would change everything. White settlers were arriving, following the Rio Ruidoso upstream, their wagons loaded with dreams and determination. What they found was a place that defied every expectation about New Mexico. Instead of scorching desert, they discovered cool mountain streams, towering pines, and meadows so green they seemed to glow. Maria's grandmother, wise with 80 years of living, whispered to her granddaughter, "The noisy river that gave us life will now give life to others." This is how the world changes, one generation at a time. If you're already fascinated by this story, make sure you subscribe to Town Tales and share this video with someone who loves discovering hidden gems in American history. Hit that like button to help us tell more stories like this one. The year was 1855, when Captain Henry Stanton led federal troops into the Ruidoso area, pursuing Apache warriors who were fighting to protect their sacred lands. The irony wasn't lost on anyone that this paradise, where families had lived in harmony for generations, was now the site of conflict. Captain Stanton never made it out of the expedition alive, but the fort that was established in his memory, Fort Stanton, would become the first permanent non-native settlement in the region. The fort brought stability, but it also brought the end of one way of life and the beginning of another. Here's where the story gets really interesting. While most of the American West was being settled by farmers and miners, Ruidoso was attracting a different kind of pioneer. The elevation, the cool summers, the abundance of water, and the stunning scenery drew people who were looking for something more than just survival. They were looking for a place where they could build something beautiful. One of these dreamers was a man named Thomas Welch. In 1875, he arrived with his family from Missouri, carrying with him the vision of a mountain retreat. But Thomas wasn't just any settler. He was a man of 42 who had spent years traveling the world with his wife Elizabeth and their 5 children. They had been to England, France, and even lived for a time in Brazil. But something about the American West, specifically about this hidden valley in New Mexico, called them back. "This is where we build our legacy," Thomas told his family. "Not in the cities of Europe, not in the plains of Missouri, but here, where the desert meets the mountains." The Welch family established the first guest ranch in the area, welcoming visitors who came by wagon from as far as Texas and Colorado. They built rustic cabins along the river, created trails through the forest, and established a tradition of hospitality that would define Ruidoso for generations. Thomas's eldest son, William, would later recount how his father used to say, "We're not just building a business, we're building a dream that will outlast us all." As the 1880s rolled around, Ruidoso began to develop its reputation as a place where city dwellers could escape the heat and stress of urban life. The railroad had reached New Mexico, and suddenly this remote mountain valley was more accessible than ever. The town of Lincoln, just 20 miles away, was gaining notoriety as the site of the Lincoln County War, a conflict that would make Billy the Kid famous. But while Lincoln was dealing with gunfights and lawlessness, Ruidoso was quietly building a different kind of reputation. The climate was perfect for health seekers. At 6,900 feet elevation, the air was crisp and clean. The summers were cool by desert standards, and the winters were mild enough to attract visitors from colder regions. Word spread through the tuberculosis community that the air in Ruidoso had healing properties. By 1890, the town had become a destination for people seeking cures for respiratory ailments. The White Mountain Inn, built in the 1940s, would later formalize this tradition by opening as a sanatorium. Here's where our story takes a fascinating turn. The same German immigrant who had traveled the world with his wife and children, Thomas Welch, had a vision that went far beyond hospitality. He saw the potential for Ruidoso to become a year-round destination, not just a summer retreat. In 1892, he invested his family's life savings in building what would become the first ski lodge in New Mexico. It was a bold move that many considered foolish. Who would come to the desert to ski? Thomas's gamble paid off. By 1895, the lodge was hosting visitors from as far away as Chicago and Detroit. Families would arrive by train in El Paso, then make the journey by stage to Ruidoso. The experience was transformative. Many of these early visitors were wealthy Eastern families who were discovering the American West for the first time. They found in Ruidoso not just recreation, but a way of life that was slower, more connected to nature, and more authentic than what they had left behind. The turn of the 20th century brought new challenges and opportunities. The Spanish-American War had increased interest in the Southwest, and New Mexico was on the path to statehood. Ruidoso was no longer just a local secret. It was becoming a destination. The town's first official incorporation came in 1948, but by then it had already been serving visitors for more than half a century. One of the most important developments came in 1910 when the U.S. Forest Service established the Lincoln National Forest. This protected the watershed that made Ruidoso possible. The Rio Ruidoso, that noisy river that gave the town its name, was now officially protected, ensuring that the source of life for the entire community would remain pristine for future generations. By the 1920s, Ruidoso had developed a reputation as a place where celebrities and wealthy Americans came to escape the pressures of urban life. The town hosted writers, artists, and business leaders who were drawn by the combination of natural beauty and relaxed atmosphere. One of these visitors was a wealthy textile manufacturer from Boston named Charles Baudouin. He had been traveling the world with his wife Marie and their 4 children, looking for the perfect place to build a family retreat. In 1923, they chose Ruidoso. The Baudouin family built an estate on the mountainside that became the template for modern Ruidoso architecture. They used local materials, traditional southwestern design, and created a home that seemed to grow out of the landscape itself. But more importantly, they established a tradition of giving back to the community. They funded the first public library, helped establish the volunteer fire department, and sponsored the annual summer festival that still brings visitors from around the world. The 1930s brought the Great Depression, but Ruidoso weathered the economic storm better than many communities. The town's economy was based on tourism and hospitality, and even during the hardest times, people found ways to scrape together enough money for a brief escape to the mountains. The Civilian Conservation Corps established a camp in the area, and young men from across the country came to work on forest improvement projects. Many of these workers fell in love with the area and returned after the war to make it their permanent home. Let me tell you about a moment that captures the spirit of Ruidoso during those challenging years. In 1936, a devastating drought was affecting most of the Southwest. Crops were failing, livestock was dying, and many communities were struggling to survive. But in Ruidoso, the Rio Ruidoso continued to flow. The trees remained green, the air remained cool, and visitors still came seeking refuge from the heat and hardship of the outside world. Make sure you scan the QR code on your screen or check the link in the description for more stories about American towns that defied the odds. You'll find additional resources, photos, and links to explore these communities yourself. The 1940s brought significant changes to Ruidoso. World War II had ended, and Americans were eager to explore their own country. The improved highway system made Ruidoso more accessible than ever. In 1946, the Ruidoso News was founded, giving the community its first regular newspaper. The airport opened the same year, and by 1948, radio had arrived. Electric lights appeared in 1947, bringing the modern world to this mountain paradise. But perhaps the most significant development of the 1940s was the construction of the first major resort. A group of investors from Texas and Oklahoma recognized that Ruidoso could become the premier mountain destination in the Southwest. They built what would become the Inn of the Mountain Gods, a luxury resort that attracted visitors from across the region. The resort was designed to blend with the natural environment, using native materials and traditional architectural elements. The 1950s marked the beginning of Ruidoso's transformation into a modern resort town. The town's popularity had grown to the point where it was attracting visitors from all over the United States. The construction of better roads, the expansion of air travel, and the post-war prosperity all contributed to a boom in tourism. But the community was careful to maintain its character. The city planners worked to preserve the natural beauty that had made Ruidoso special in the first place. This period also saw the establishment of some of Ruidoso's most iconic attractions. The Ruidoso Downs racetrack opened in 1953, featuring quarter horse racing that would become legendary in the region. The track was built with the understanding that it needed to complement, not compete with, the natural beauty of the area. The famous All-American Futurity, one of the richest quarter horse races in the world, was established in 1959 and put Ruidoso on the map for horse racing enthusiasts. The 1960s brought new challenges. The rise of air conditioning made other parts of the Southwest more attractive to visitors, and Ruidoso had to work harder to maintain its appeal. The community responded by diversifying its offerings. Winter sports became more important, with the development of ski facilities that took advantage of the area's elevation and snowfall. The town also began promoting itself as a year-round destination for conferences and special events. One of the most significant developments of this period was the construction of the Ruidoso Convention Center in 1967. This facility allowed the town to host large gatherings, from business conferences to wedding receptions. The center was designed to showcase the natural beauty of the area, with large windows that offered stunning views of the surrounding mountains. The 1970s brought environmental awareness to Ruidoso. The community began to recognize that its future depended on protecting the natural resources that made it special. The first environmental protection ordinances were passed, limiting development in sensitive areas and requiring new construction to meet strict environmental standards. The town also began promoting itself as an eco-friendly destination, appealing to visitors who wanted to experience nature without damaging it. This period also saw the rise of outdoor recreation as a major industry. The town developed extensive hiking and biking trails, promoted fishing and hunting, and established a reputation as a destination for outdoor enthusiasts. The combination of natural beauty and carefully managed recreation made Ruidoso a model for sustainable tourism. The 1980s brought both challenges and opportunities. The oil boom in nearby Texas brought new prosperity to the region, but it also brought new pressures. The town had to balance the desire for economic growth with the need to preserve its character. The solution was careful planning and strict zoning regulations that ensured new development would be in harmony with the existing community. One of the most successful developments of this period was the expansion of the casino industry. The Mescalero Apache tribe, which had been granted federal recognition and land rights, opened the first casino in the area in 1982. The casino was designed to complement the existing tourism industry, offering entertainment options that extended the typical visitor's stay. The partnership between the tribe and the town became a model for cooperation between native communities and resort towns. The 1990s brought new challenges as the Southwest experienced one of its worst droughts in history. But Ruidoso's careful water management and the protected watershed of the Rio Ruidoso allowed the community to weather the crisis better than many other towns. The town's commitment to environmental protection proved to be not just good policy, but good business. This period also saw the development of some of Ruidoso's most iconic attractions. The Hubbard Museum of the American West opened in 1991, showcasing the region's history and culture. The museum was designed to be both educational and entertaining, offering visitors a chance to learn about the area's rich heritage while enjoying world-class exhibits. The 2000s brought new challenges as the American economy became more global and tourists had more options than ever before. Ruidoso responded by emphasizing its unique character and the authenticity of the experience it offered. The town invested in upgrading its facilities while maintaining its small-town charm. The result was a destination that appealed to both first-time visitors and families who had been coming for generations. One of the most significant developments of this period was the expansion of the summer festival season. The town began hosting a series of events that showcased local culture, from art festivals to music festivals to food festivals. These events brought visitors during traditionally slow periods and helped support local businesses year-round. The 2010s brought new challenges as climate change began to affect the region. The town had to adapt to changing weather patterns, including more frequent droughts and more severe storms. but the community's commitment to environmental protection and sustainable tourism helped it adapt to these changes. The town invested in water conservation, renewable energy, and sustainable transportation options. This period also saw a renewed focus on the town's cultural heritage. The community began to recognize that its story was not just about tourism and business, but about the people who had made Ruidoso special over the generations. The town began celebrating its diverse heritage, from Native American traditions to Spanish colonial history to the contributions of Anglo settlers. But the 2020s have brought perhaps the greatest challenges yet. The COVID-19 pandemic severely impacted tourism, and the town had to find new ways to attract visitors while maintaining safety. The community responded with creativity and resilience, developing outdoor events, promoting safe recreation, and working to maintain the economic vitality that keeps the town alive. The recent wildfires have posed another major challenge. The area has experienced several devastating fires that have threatened the natural beauty that makes Ruidoso special. The community has responded by implementing new fire prevention measures, improving emergency response systems, and working to restore damaged areas. The resilience shown by the community in the face of these challenges is a testament to the spirit that has defined Ruidoso from its earliest days. And then came yesterday's challenge, the historic flash flooding of July 8, 2025, that swept through the village and took 3 lives. The flooding occurred when 1.5 to 5 inches of rain fell on the nearby South Fork burn scar in just a few hours, sending a wall of water rushing down toward the town. It's a sobering reminder that the forces of nature that created this paradise are still at work, still shaping the destiny of this remarkable place. Today, Ruidoso stands as a testament to the power of vision and perseverance. The town has managed to grow and prosper while maintaining the character that made it special. The balance between development and preservation, between progress and tradition, between economic growth and environmental protection, has made Ruidoso a model for other communities facing similar challenges. The food culture of Ruidoso reflects its diverse heritage. You can find traditional New Mexican dishes made with local ingredients, cowboy cuisine that speaks to the town's ranching heritage, and sophisticated cuisine that reflects the international tastes of its visitors. The town's restaurants range from casual cafes to fine dining establishments, all of which take advantage of the area's natural beauty and clean air. The educational opportunities in Ruidoso are exceptional for a town of its size. The local schools have consistently been rated among the best in New Mexico, and the community has always placed a high value on education. The town is also home to several cultural institutions, including libraries, museums, and art galleries that serve both residents and visitors. The town's approach to health and wellness is holistic, reflecting the traditional use of the area as a place of healing. The clean air, the outdoor recreation opportunities, and the relaxed pace of life all contribute to a quality of life that is hard to find in more urban areas. The town also has excellent medical facilities that serve both residents and visitors. The economic model of Ruidoso is built on sustainable tourism and carefully managed growth. The town has avoided the boom and bust cycles that have affected many other tourist destinations by diversifying its offerings and maintaining strict standards for development. The result is a stable economy that provides good jobs for residents while preserving the natural beauty that attracts visitors. The town's approach to transportation and infrastructure is designed to serve both residents and visitors while minimizing environmental impact. The town has invested in pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure, public transportation, and sustainable building practices. The result is a community that is both modern and environmentally responsible. As we look to the future, Ruidoso faces both challenges and opportunities. Climate change will continue to affect the region, requiring new approaches to water management and environmental protection. The changing demographics of the United States will bring new visitors with different expectations and needs. The increasing urbanization of the Southwest will bring new pressures for development. But if the history of Ruidoso teaches us anything, it's that this is a community that knows how to adapt without losing its soul. The same spirit that brought the first settlers to this unlikely paradise, the same vision that created a world-class resort in the middle of the desert, and the same resilience that has seen the community through droughts, fires, and floods, will see it through whatever challenges lie ahead. The story of Ruidoso is ultimately about more than just a town. It's about the power of human vision and determination to create something beautiful and lasting. It's about the importance of preserving natural beauty while building modern communities. It's about the value of tradition and innovation working together to create a better future. As the sun sets behind Sierra Blanca Peak, casting long shadows across the valley where the Rio Ruidoso still runs clear and cold, there's something magical about this place that continues to draw people from around the world. It's not just the natural beauty, though. That's certainly part of it. It's not just the recreational opportunities, though those are world-class. It's something deeper, something that speaks to the human need for connection with nature and with each other. Maybe it's the way the morning mist rises from the river, creating a moment of perfect peace before the day begins. Maybe it's the way the aspen trees shimmer in the breeze, creating a sound that seems to whisper secrets of the past. Maybe it's the way the air itself seems to carry a message of hope and possibility, reminding us that even in the harshest environments, life finds a way to flourish. Or maybe it's simply the fact that Ruidoso represents something we all need to believe in, the possibility that with enough vision, determination, and respect for the natural world, we can create places that are both beautiful and sustainable, both successful and true to their roots. The story of Ruidoso is still being written. Every visitor who comes to experience its magic, every resident who works to preserve its character, every business owner who operates with respect for the environment, every child who grows up understanding the importance of protecting what makes this place special is contributing to a story that will be told for generations to come. As we face an uncertain future, as we grapple with the challenges of climate change and urban growth and economic pressures, the story of Ruidoso offers hope. It shows us that it's possible to create communities that are both prosperous and sustainable, both modern and true to their heritage, both welcoming to visitors and protective of the natural resources that make them special. For those who have visited Ruidoso, there's a phrase that captures the essence of what makes this place special. All who have been here agree that it is the most beautiful country they ever saw. Duck. It's a sentiment that echoes through the generations, from the first Apache families who considered the mountains sacred, to the Spanish explorers who marveled at the landscape, to the American settlers who saw endless possibilities, to the modern visitors who come seeking renewal and inspiration. The story of Ruidoso is the story of America itself, a place where different cultures meet and create something new, where the harsh realities of the natural world are balanced by human ingenuity and determination, where the dreams of one generation become the heritage of the next. It's a story of resilience in the face of adversity, of vision in the face of uncertainty, of hope in the face of challenge. As we look to the future, as we consider the challenges facing our communities and our world, the story of Ruidoso offers both inspiration and practical lessons. It shows us that with careful planning, with respect for the natural world, with commitment to quality over quantity, with a willingness to adapt while preserving what's most important, we can create places that are both prosperous and sustainable, both successful and true to their roots. The message of Ruidoso is ultimately one of hope, that it's possible to create places that are worthy of the dreams of those who came before us and the needs of those who will come after. It's a message that's needed now more than ever, as we face the challenges of building a sustainable future for our communities and our world. In the end, the story of Ruidoso is not just about a small town in New Mexico. It's about the power of human vision and determination to create something beautiful and lasting. It's about the importance of preserving natural beauty while building modern communities. It's about the value of tradition and innovation working together to create a better future. And it's about the simple but profound truth that with enough vision, determination and respect for the natural world, we can create places that are both beautiful and sustainable, both successful and true to their roots. Places like Ruidoso, where the desert meets the mountains, where the past meets the future, and where the possible meets the real. So if you're ready to explore more stories of American towns that defied the odds, if you're ready to discover the hidden gems in our nation's history, if you're ready to find inspiration in the stories of communities that built something beautiful against all odds, then make sure you subscribe to Town Tales. If you feel pride in the resilience of American communities, if you have gratitude for the dreamers who built these special places, if you want to see more towns like Ruidoso thriving in the future, then hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Turn on notifications so you never miss the story of another town that refused to be defined by its circumstances. And make sure you check out our other videos about towns in the Southwest. Discover the story of Taos, New Mexico, the artisan colony that became a cultural destination. Learn about Flagstaff, Arizona, the lumber town that became a gateway to the Grand Canyon. Explore the tale of Durango, Colorado, the railroad town that became a world-class outdoor destination. These are the stories of American communities that remind us that with enough vision, determination, and respect for the natural world, we can create places that are both beautiful and sustainable, both successful and true to their roots. Subscribe to Town Tales today and join us as we discover the hidden gems of American towns that defied the odds.